Joining me now is a good friend of mine. She is a top producer here in San Diego. She is #1, I believe, in the Western region for Century 21 Award, #8 nationwide. She is a pros pro, and again, another friend of mine, Melissa Tucci.
Hi, nice
Welcome.
to be here.
So it's nice to have you. I've known you for a little while now. You know, we had you on the radio show, what, 3 years ago, maybe?
Mm-hmm. And then this past year, too.
2 to 3 years ago, and then fairly recently. And I've seen a lot of the transactions that you worked on. I have to say, I tend to tell a little story about every new elite member we bring on the show.
Sure.
I probably know thousands of realtors here in San Diego. I've never met one that is more on the ball than you. And that's not to take away from any of our other elite, but responsive, all over it, caring. If I was buying a house, Melissa Tucci, I would honestly use you. And I will say that to those guys that are just here right to their face.
Good.
That's the truth, and you should too, depending on the market that you're buying in. But your office, you know what? This is sad. You know, here I am, a real estate guy. I get lost in San Diego. You know, I've been to your office. We've hung out there. We've chatted, talked about the show and all of our goals here, and I don't know exactly where that is. Is that University City? Is that?
It's University Heights.
Okay.
And so that's where my office is actually located. I have also another office in the Rancho San Diego area as well. I cover all over San Diego County, but I focus on the central areas: North Park, Normal Heights, University Heights, Kensington, Mission Hills, as well as wherever else I have buyers and sellers.
When Melissa says that she covers these areas, your team isn't that big. Is it? I mean,
no. For a while, it was actually just me, and I actually have a couple other people now helping me, just because you can't be in 100 places at the same time. So, right. I work just like you had mentioned. I'm definitely always emailing, texting, working till 1 in the morning. Responding to emails. So
it's insane. All these areas that she covers, it's pretty much you and a very small team versus. Big offices that send agents all over the place covering San Diego. I mean, it really is you working with the clients directly, and a lot of agents with your high level of prestige and awards, they turn down certain types of clients. I mean, you're working with buyers, sellers, luxury listings. You're doing everything. I think it really speaks to you. And look at this recent award you got from Century 21. So you rack it up. I kind of joke about you when you're not around. I think you're one of the most passively aggressive realtors as far as you're very competitive. I mean, you come across very soft, but you're kind of a bulldog when it comes to getting the job done.
Right.
And certainly available. I've seen your 1 in the morning emails before. One of the things that you do that's unique, and I really wanted you to talk about here today, and there's a whole variety of things that you could speak to, but specifically here today is, look, when you're going to sell a property, the idea is to get top dollar out of it. Right.
Absolutely.
If you have a house that's listed for $700,000, you want to get $705,000 or $710,000. One of the things that you do that's really special is you put a lot of effort into making that home, I guess, easier on the eyes. You hear curb appeal, things like that, but you also do work on the inside to make it ready to go to market to get more top dollar for your sellers. I wanted to bring some of your listings up here for you to really comment on some of the things that you're doing. So here's your first staging here. This is a listing that you've had recently. Kind of explain what your artistic mindset is when you look at something like this.
Sure. Well, basically, the whole idea is when someone opens the door, you want to have that wow factor for them. And so by having it professionally staged, it really gives an idea of a sense of space, how big a room is, having neutral colors, making it look the most move-in ready so a buyer could actually imagine themselves in that property. And so if a client doesn't have already furniture, I have my own professional stager come in. We stage the property. Yep. I have professional photographers. The idea is to make it look the best that it can, which then does result in a higher dollar amount.
It's kind of funny about that. So you and I were talking earlier this week, and we knew we were going to bring you on because you are one of the pros, the elite, as we continue to call you guys. And we were talking about staging, and I was like, you really got to talk about how you stage some of these properties. And you're like, well, I don't actually stage them. And I honestly thought for a second that maybe you were doing that too, because you do so much for everything else. So you bring people in, specialists for that specific deal, You also bring in professional photographers.
Correct, right, because I'm a professional real estate broker, but I bring in professional stagers. You want a professional to do each job to have it highlighted the best way. So the staging company, as soon as they're done, then I have a professional photographer come and actually take photos and do a virtual tour.
So we got stage 2. This is another example of one of your listings here recently. What did we do here?
The stager came in and actually added all the furniture and the accessories and the rug that you see there, as well as additional lighting, and some fixtures were changed out just to really present it in the best fashion possible. And really, if you do have a home that's professionally staged, it sells faster, and typically you could get anywhere from 13 to 17% more than, you know, if it wasn't staged.
Really?
So it really does make a big difference.
Do these guys do work on, you know, just properties that need to look nicer? Mine?
Well, you could get anyone to, if you're not selling a house, these companies come and they can even give you consultations. Absolutely.
Yeah, Buster and I could use some help. But no, I appreciate you coming in here. Again, your wealth of knowledge as well, and I want to get your opinion on housing in general. You're hearing things like housing bubble. Should we be nervous? Are things okay?
I still think things are okay. We live in beautiful San Diego. There's always people moving, you know, here just for the weather, for relocating. The you know, the cost to rent is always going up, and
that's true. We haven't referenced that yet. Rent is actually going up as well.
And I truly think it's still a good time to buy and sell. So I'm not worried, and I tell my clients not to worry either.
Great. Well, don't be tricked by this little gal here. She is a workhorse. I've seen her in action. Not only is she, I don't want people calling you at 4 in the morning, Melissa. You're not 24/7, but you're as close to it as anyone you'll ever meet in the real estate business. She's doing it in a. Can I ask how much production you're going to do this year? I mean, it's.
My goal is close to about 45 million.
So, what that means is easily top 20, if not top 15 here in San Diego. She's nationally recognized. And as she does all this, I don't want you to lose sight of the fact that she is also a wife, a mother of 3. So you're dealing with all of that as well. I don't know how you do it, but if you want to learn more about Melissa, here's her website. It's melissatucci.com. I would visit her. I would learn more about her. And I wouldn't necessarily pin Melissa on a specific market. You cover a wide range. So if you have questions, concerns, you're buying, you're selling, I highly recommend Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks
Great
for
job.
allowing me on the show.